Jeff, if you were a betting man, I know you are, would you suspect that after all that we've seen, all the talk, all the rumor, all the innuendo, you think CM Punk is done with wrestling? I don't. I hope not.
Now, Conrad, you even asking me that question is just silly, 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 silly.
So the question now is, if you were a betting man, where would you say the favorite is that he shows up? Will it be New Japan, Tokyo Dome? Will it be AAA doing something at Triple Mania next year? Will it be showing up at GCW? Will it be Rev Pro? Will it be Impact? He hadn't been there in a while. Or could you see him standing in the ring going toe to toe verbally with Paul Heyman, maybe doing something at Survivor Series in Atlanta with the head of the table, Roman Reigns?
You know, Conrad, in my, I guess I can't say I'm getting wiser, but my immediate knee jerk reaction when you started running down that list, I started thinking, nope, 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 nope. But that's how I would think. So I don't know his headspace. You know, I don't know any of that. But speaking of DraftKings, download the app, promo code MyWorld. If I was a betting man, what's the downside to doing something completely on his own?
Okay, now there we go.
Aim the card my way.
Mm.
I mean, I'm just trying to think. You know, there's.
Are you suggesting maybe instead of Ric Flair's last match, it's CM Punk's first match back?
There you go. You've
Yeah,
already got the domain bought. CMPunkFirstMatch.com.
yeah,
Firstmatchback.com.
not really, but yeah, continue.
No, I mean,
I'm with you. You could just build a show
sure you.
and do your own thing. I mean, I don't know that that's really long term sustainable. I mean, certainly you could.
I didn't say long term.
No, that's right. No, that's right. I mean, listen, if he wanted if he announced he's running a show WrestleMania weekend and it's going to be the biggest independent wrestling show, it's going to be real competition for Brett Lauderdale and Joey Janela's spring break. You telling me CM Punk couldn't do that? Of course he could.
Of course you could.
Yeah, of course he could.
And,
That's interesting. Yeah, I love that your entrepreneurial spirit kicks in where it's like, well, I go work for somebody else. Do it yourself.
and my gut tells me, how old is Phil? Mid-40s, I think, something along those lines.
Yeah, I think he's 43 or 44.
Okay, so that's. I mean, that's. Well, look at me. I'm going to call him real young, but no, he. But on the flip side is he don't want to be grinding every week. I don't think.
Yeah.
Uh, but you know, do 4 shows a year. One on the East Coast, one on the West Coast, one in the Midwest in his hometown, and pick another one and see what happens. Um, it's that's why creating content in this day and age, you know, when you look across the landscape, and I think Seth Rollins made a comment, and you know, he put over the Wembley show and put over their show, and as I was hearing that, you know, and then there were different comments, and you kind of look at just the different things going on. There is so much wrestling content being created that
Yes.
how do you break through the clutter, if you will? Like, I'm the Wrestle Dream show that's coming up in Seattle. You know, the celebration of Inoki's life, or the 1 year anniversary. That already to me has a different vibe of any of the 5 shows that we do at AEW.
Yeah.
So it's just, and I think that's, you know, shoot, in any form of sales, selling cars, selling houses, selling any product. How are you new? How are you different? How are you going to cut through the clutter, and how are you going to market and promote it? Well, I think Phil has the ability to check all those boxes. It can be a different type show.
Man, that's interesting. I'll be honest, until you said that, I never really considered it, but you're exactly right. He could definitely do his own thing. It's just a matter of what does he want? What are his goals? And we can't really answer that. But as a Punk fan, I'm hopeful that this isn't the end. And I hope that everybody gets to end their career on their terms. But even if he did, even if that was it, it's sort of a John Elway type retirement. I mean, you just wrestled for the real world title that you never lost against one of your most prolific and famous opponents and probably one of your best friends, a guy you came up in the business with in front of the largest crowd in wrestling history.
Yep.
Like on some level, no matter what you do after that, it's downhill, right? Like if he main evented the next year's WrestleMania, which I don't think is going to happen, but if he did, it would be for a smaller crowd. It's not going to be for more people.
Right.
Certainly WrestleMania, and that is that last box that he never really checked. I mean, if we believe what we've heard over the years, it's that that was his goal. He wanted a main event of WrestleMania. He won the titles. He headlined the other pay-per-views. He had a really long reign. The last, box that was unchecked was main eventing a WrestleMania. That could still happen. Stranger things have happened. And I know there's lots of reports out there that say, oh, well, he'll never go back. Well, I said that about Hogan and Brett and the Ultimate Warrior and Bruno and everybody else, and they all did. So, and who would have thought Double J would have been back in WWE? Never say never.
You never say never in this business, ever. I also think that, well, that's a whole nother discussion. Main eventing in this era is different than prior eras.
For sure.
It just is. The brand's out in front. Just,
Pay is different. Everything's different.
The pay's different. The brand's different. The titles, it's just the evolution. You hear people, all this and that. Well, no, the reality is, I mean, not that long ago, you really thought of the WWE title and the WCW titles.
That's right.
That's really the whole point. Growing up, there was only one world champion, but not that long ago, in the 90s, those were the two. And then, technology and life took over, and Jesus, right now, I mean, you can talk about 5, 6, 7 quote unquote world champions. It's, main eventing world championship match. It is a different, times have changed. The business has changed.